practicing integrative medicine for quite some time now. A while back, I've been working in the hospital settings for quite a number of years now, doing physical therapy stuff. I just felt limited. I was just looking at things from the modern medicine approach, and a good number of patients get better, but a lot of them come back through the system. Right? Not just from the physical therapy standpoint, just from a medical standpoint. And I see this in the hospital every single day. And so it just seems like with the current healthcare crisis that we have going on, drain on the medical system, as well as everyone looking for a different answer or something new, right? So I also felt, similarly, I just felt limited in my ability to treat all of my patients effectively. I just felt there was a missing piece in the whole picture. And so I knew enough about Ayurveda because my great-grandfather was an Ayurvedic physician in India. So there's always some stuff in the family, and a lot of things are old grandmother's recipes and things, right? So you have some sense of in terms of diet and lifestyle and other things you're exposed to day-to-day basis. And so you grew up with those things, but you don't know the reasons behind them. Why don't I mix the milk with the fish? Why don't I do this with that? You just do it because mom said do it, right? So I started to look into it further, and I started to get interested in it. Started reading about it, and then I went to India and I studied, and I've been studying it's a lifelong process. You continue to study. You can't stop. Okay. So I've been studying here also for a number of years and practicing now too. So I'm an Ayurvedic herbalist also, as well as a physical therapian. So now I've been combining things in my private practice, at least, the Ayurvedic part as well as the physical therapy part, and general health stuff too. But even in the hospital setting, though quote unquote I can't tell the patient, I'm going to prescribe these herbs to you, right? But I can give them basic guidelines. If they're taking pain medications or other things, they have constipation, I can tell them what they need to do to get rid of the constipation, right? Or just change your diet or lifestyle changes, which makes a huge difference. Okay, even if we take the herbal part out of it. Okay? So it can really, I think, benefit us. I think the move is towards an integrative medicine system. We're heading that way slowly. It's going to take another 30, 40 years, I think. It's going to take a while for there's enough awareness out there as well as acceptance to be out there. Until about 2-3 years ago, there's a study that came out which said acupuncture should be very beneficial for osteoarthritis. And recently there was something else also talking about osteoporosis and other things. So slowly, right, there is awareness and there's acceptance. Trying to look at it, okay, which is the first step, which is important, okay. And just last year or 2 years ago, there was the first study that was done where they tried to merge the two systems together, because you cannot do double blind. I mean, we do double blind every single day, determine medications or different things. But how are you going to control for all the factors? Definitely not from the Eastern medical paradigm or perspective. You cannot. How am I going to control the emotional state of that person when they walk in, right? And there's so many other factors to it too. So the Ayurvedic approach, or the traditional, or the Chinese medicine approach, or the Tibetan approach addresses those things and takes that into account when it's designing something, a treatment or a strategy for the person. So this was actually, I think it was wonderful because of the first study that was done, and it was I think it was funded by Center for Disease, and it was done by, it was a physician out of UCLA. He's one of the top rheumatologists out there. It was done on arthritis, and they got in touch with and merged with an Indian hospital, Ayurvedic hospital, an Ayurvedic physician, and did a study. And it wasn't that they did the first study. They designed a way to merge the two systems and do the research. That was interesting about it, because it opens doors. And the next step is, as they get more funding and other things, it could be a next step and some acceptance in the whole system. Okay, so that's a little bit about me. What else? I like to travel. So more about the Ayurveda part, right? You guys said some of you guys know a little bit about Ayurveda, or you have some interest in it. You've taken some online tests to figure out your constitution and various things. Right? Ayurveda is East Indian holistic medical system. It's been practiced in India, Southeast Asia, Sri Lanka, throughout that region over 5,000 years or so. And it's still practiced by a large number of people in India and the neighboring countries. So about 60 to 70% crossover with traditional Chinese medicine and Tibetan medicine. Just because of the geographical proximity of those regions, over thousands of years of exchange of information, right? So I think that for a while they've been working together, and over the last few hundred years, once again, because of, I think more because of political situations and stuff, they've kind of gone their separate ways, right? And the Chinese don't think or don't feel that they want to merge with that, and the Indians feel the same way. But slowly things are changing again in terms of those systems starting to merge again and talk about what are the commonalities and what are the differences, what can we learn from each other. Okay? What is Ayurveda? Ayurveda is, it's two words. Ayur or Ayush, the root word is Ayush, Ayu. Ayu means life. Veda means knowledge. Okay? So any knowledge that's systematized and organized turns into a science. Okay? So Ayurveda is the science of life or knowledge of right living.